Hello, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to a Latter-day Saint and his dog. And today we are talking about that subject you thought I would never cover: how to leave the Mormon church. All that and more coming up, but stick with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. So here we are going to be talking about how to leave the Mormon church, or the Latter-day Saints, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as we call it. The simple answer is, you just leave. You just leave, you stop going to church, and you leave. So why am I doing a video about this if it's all that simple? Because there is a plethora of videos out there that are coming out saying we're going to stop you like some cult, we're going to come down and we're going to harass you, we're going to bully you, and we're going to do all sorts of evil things to stop you leaving. And basically it's untrue. You will find loads of videos that will be how we can help you leave the church, all my nightmares about leaving the church. Now don't get me wrong, there are people who have had problems, and we will cover this as we talk. So let's take this one step at a time. So, step one on leaving the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or Mormon Church as is commonly referred to. First of all, literally, you stop going to church. Now, I'm not saying people aren't going to call you and ask you why you're not going to church. Of course they will. People care about you. Your friends at church, your brothers and sisters at church, obviously are going to be concerned about why you're not going to church. But how is this different from anything else? If you leave any church, they should come and ask you, what's the problem? Why are you leaving the church? Can we help? If your church doesn't do that, then you belong to a church that does not care about you. And yes, obviously they are going to make contact with you. Now, you go to all these websites, they will turn around and say, oh, I was harassed. They called me and asked me while I was leaving the church. I don't consider that harassment. Now, there's a fine line, because once you turn around and tell them, I've made my decision, I don't want to discuss it, or you do want to discuss it, and they continue to call you and try and talk to you about it, then yes, that's harassment, and I'm sure that does on occasion happen. However, that's not the church policy to come down and harass you. It is not. If a person decides to harass you from your church, they've made that decision. Now, if that person wants to get abusive to you, you're going to burn in hell and fire, and all evil is going to come down on you, they are not speaking on behalf of the church. Because the church doesn't actually believe that. You're not going to go to hell because you're not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's a simple fact. We are actually the only denomination that doesn't believe that if you don't follow us and believe us, that you're going to go to hell. Other churches will tell you that, yes, if you don't follow us. We don't believe that. So anyone who's doing that to you, anyone who says doing that, they're doing it off their own back. They're doing it of their own choice, and basically they're just being inappropriate, and they're being buttheads. Okay? And yes, we have buttheads in our church. We have 13-15 million members, and as with any organisation, we are going to have people who do not behave appropriately, and we're going to have people who are basically buttheads. What organisation doesn't? You go to high school, you're going to meet buttheads. You go to golf club, you're going to have buttheads. You go to a country club, there's going to be buttheads. You go to another church, any church, there are buttheads. Where more than 5 people gather together, there will be a butthead. Okay? But is that the same as the church harassing people? No, it's not. It absolutely is not the same thing. The church does not tell people to go and harass people. The church does, for full disclosure, the church does keep a record of people who stop going to church and does check up on them on occasion. If you don't want that to happen, you tell them not to. You can even write in to the church and say, please remove me from the membership register. Not very difficult. It's actually a lot easier than joining the church. You know, you don't have to go through classes, you don't have to go through baptisms to leave the church. You simply send a letter to the church and say, I no longer want to be a member. It is as simple as that. But, you know, people will post these things of how they've had trouble from the church and things like that. And I'm not saying they are liars. I'm just saying they're a minuscule percentage of people. You know, 30 million people, thousands of people leave the church. You don't hear about most of them because they leave and go on with their lives. But to give this idea there is some grand conspiracy, like we are this cult out there that's going to try and force you to stay in the church, that we're going to bully you and intimidate you and we're going to be all sorts of mean, is ludicrous. It is absolutely untrue. There is no organised, consulted effort to try and force people to stay in the church by blackmail, bullying or intimidation. It just doesn't happen. But like I said, there are buttholes. And, you know, but the church can't control people. In fact, if we did try to control those people, we would be the cult that they want you to believe we are. But it's just not true. It just that sort of tactics, that sort of attitude goes against every fibre of what we believe in. And, you know, the people who do that should be ashamed of themselves. 2, family. Okay. Another thing you hear quite frequently is, you know, members of families disowning their children or siblings because they've left the church. Yes, I believe that does in fact happen. I'm not going to deny that. However, this is not some sort of church doctrine. This is not like the Jehovah's Witnesses where their leadership actually tell them to disassociate from those people. We don't. We actually preach the opposite. If someone's leaving the church, we want to be there for them, help them, love them, and if they're a family member of ours, we should put them first. And we do. As I say, most people, most families I know who are members of the church do have family members that have left the church. Most. Those who haven't are people who I don't know their family stories. But, you know, it can't be blamed on the church if a family is going to be horrible to another member of their family. You know, it's no different to any other thing. You know, I'd speak from my own personal experience. My father wanted me to follow a particular career. I didn't want to follow that career. I chose my own way in life, and my father wasn't very happy. And a lot of my decisions in my life, my father wasn't very happy with, and we had a falling out. And for many, many years, just before he passed away, my father and I had no communication. Was there anyone behind my dad for disagreeing with me for my choices? No, he made that decision. He chose to be upset with me because I didn't agree with his way of thinking. It's the same with this situation. If you're in the church, you decide to leave the church and your family decide to have nothing to do with you. I know it's horrible, I'm not condoning it in any way, but it's not the church's doing. The church does not practice telling families not to communicate or talk to or harass other members of their families for leaving the church. It just is not an acceptable form of behaviour, and the church does not condone it. But obviously there are families, and you know, if you're reading this, someone's got an issue, they posted an issue with their family as if it's the church's fault that their family have stopped talking to them or whatever. it is not true. You know, it's true that their families are probably not talking to them, or their families are upset that they've left the church, but it's not true that it's from the church. But, you know, even saying that, this is not a Latter-day Saint Mormon thing. You know, if you leave the Catholic Church, families can fall out with each other. If you leave any Protestant churches, families can fall out with you. If you leave Islam, your family can fall out with you. If you leave Hinduism, your family can fall out with you. Making it sound like we are some sort of cultish, sort of, you know, anti-family, sort of like, you know, you've left the church, so don't talk to your family, is absolutely BS. It's ludicrous, absolutely 100%. You just have to wake up and smell the coffee, guys. You know, come on. You know, anybody can fall out there. You drop out of college, your family could stop talking to you. Your parents could stop talking to you. You know, oh, you know, they spent thousands of dollars on your first year at college, and you decide you want to go down to California and surf. Your family may well fall out with you and not have anything to do with you. Is that the college's fault? No, it's not. So let's have some sense here when we think about these things. 3, propaganda. Okay, a lot of these websites you'll see are actually run by other churches, other denominations of churches. You will see that they're not just isolated. You know, some are made by ex-Mormons, ex-Latter-day Saints, but the vast majority are either run by a church, or the person actually ex-Mormon is now a member of that church. Very rarely do you have sort of atheist anti-Mormons. Well, the atheists are more friendlier, actually. They're against all religions, but they're not offensive usually about it. But you'll find that these basically the biggest problem these churches have is all over the world. Membership of Christian churches are falling in nearly every single denomination, except one. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has seen a dramatic decrease in the number of new members coming into the church, and this is hailed by the other religions, as the other denominations, as, oh, the failing Latter-day Saints. But the fact is, however small, we are still increasing membership. People are leaving their churches and joining ours, and that's what they hate. They can't get their message across where we can, and they want to stop our message getting to you. Simple as that. You can't stand it. It's driving them crazy. You know, people don't want to listen to their message anymore. People are leaving their churches. People are leaving all different denominations, and we are still increasing membership. We are opening new churches around the world. You know, we now have more people outside the US who are members of the Church of Latter-day Saints than within the US. We are spreading over the world, spreading the greatest gospel there ever was. And unfortunately, a lot of denominations don't like that. And I'm not saying every denomination. Don't get me thinking I'm attacking every denomination. I'm not attacking any denomination. I'm basically saying, you know, there are a small, hardcore group of extremists, extreme fundamentalists that, you know, don't follow the Christian rules of sitting in judgment of others and want to just attack. So they would basically look for any story of anybody having a problem, and whilst they may not be lying about the story, they will exaggerate it, they will put a spin on it, and they will make it sound like, oh, the evil cult. And, you know, that's really, really sad. 4, clickbait. Nothing makes more money than negativity. In the YouTube world, at least. You know, you'll get, you look at any religion, look up any religion, don't look up Church of Latter-day Saints, anti-Catholicism, Well, anti-Islam often gets banned as prejudice, and anti-Jewish gets banned as prejudice, but attack Christian denominations, that seems to be acceptable. But you basically can make a lot of money bashing churches. You just have to go and see some of these videos, and the thousands upon thousands of hits they get of these, excited Baptists and excited atheists who are all going hitting these videos. So there's a lot out there that simply is about making money. This tends to be more the atheist type sites because, most atheists get on with their lives. They're not out to, promote atheism. There's not really a lot of point to that. I don't understand it myself. It's like, I don't like fishing, but I don't go out promoting, let's not go fishing. But there you go. That's their choice. That's their freedom. That's their agency. But the main reason a lot of these sites exist is purely for that YouTube money. You post a video on I Hate Mormons, and you're going to get thousands of hits. I'm not encouraging anyone to do it there. I'm suddenly thinking, hey, people are watching this and they're all going to start doing their Bash the Mormons videos because of what I'm saying. But, there's plenty out there, so whatever you do, there won't be any more if you decide to go down that route. But that's it. There is a lot of money to be made in it. So really, to conclude, this is very much a falsity that you're going to hear. Sometimes you'll pick up, if you listen to the points I've made, when you do watch these videos, you will notice the points they make are very much the individuals have been harassing them, family members have been harassing them. No one's come down on high from church hierarchy to harass them. As an organisation, we are not about hate, we are not about bullying, we are not about intimidation. And I've been in this church a couple of years now, and I've never had anyone say they were intimidated. I've heard people talk about people leaving the church and things like that. No one has ever hinted at intimidating them. And I know if I left tomorrow, yes, I'll get phone calls and I'll get people talking to me about why you're leaving me. But they'll be my friends. They're my friends. I don't just go to church with non-entities. You go to church, you become friends with these people. Very good friends. Most of my best friends now are members of my church. People I trust are members of my church. So naturally, if I leave, I'm going to get the calls and everything. But I'm repeating myself here. I hope you take this on board. I hope you understand. It's going to be interesting to see the responses to this. I know that I'm going to get a lot of hate down there, and because this is sort of like, oh, I'm so evil, I am trying to corrupt you all into my fanatical cult, and you will all be in the power of the prophet. And they actually genuinely believe that. I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you click like and subscribe, and I hope you continue to watch my Latter-day Saint and his dog. Until next time, I hope you have a really blessed day.